Hi guys! Have you ever wanted to bring color to a plain object in your home because it just looked like it needed color added to it to brighten up the room? Like a box, or if you just wanted to make some bookmarks, or if you just have a canvas lying around, you can even use that. Well, today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the string art technique. I learned how to do this technique when I was in college. As one of my art projects, we had to choose two different techniques other than using a paintbrush to paint with. I chose to do a sponge and a piece of string. It seemed difficult at the time because I didn't know how it was going to work, but it's actually super easy and it's really fun to do. So for this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step of what to do. I'm not going to leave you hanging. And then we're gonna start by going over the background. I'm going to teach y'all how to do that. You'll get to decide on what type of colors you plan on using. And then we'll look at how it turned out in the end. It won't look just like mine, and it doesn't have to look just like mine, because everybody's imagination can be different on how you intend on it to look. So before we begin our piece, you'll need to decide on what type of material you plan on using. You can use any type of art paper. Like, I'm using bristle board to make bookmarks because it's pretty easy to teach. You can use a canvas. You can use a plain box that you find at the dollar store. Just make sure you know what you're painting on, because that's kind of important. Okay, so when we first begin, you'll want to choose a single color background, or if you're really feeling spontaneous, you can choose multiple colors. I'm not telling you you have to stick to one color, but I'm going to stick to one color because I haven't really used multiple colors because I feel like it would just drown the other colors you can put on top out of them. So, okay, so once you've chosen your color or colors, you can begin to paint the background. Make sure it is fully covered. So, like, I'm going to be using black because, in my opinion, it'll make the colors on top really stand out. So you can just take time and just paint your background. If you have a paintbrush, you can use that. You can use your finger. Just make sure it's actually fully covered. Now, if you're doing multiple colors, I would split whatever you're painting on into 3s or 2s or however many colors you're using, so that you can just do it by sections. You just want to paint the whole thing. Make sure you get every spot. Make sure it's fully covered. You don't want any white to be shown, because you don't want it to like show up underneath the other colors. Like, I just painted this whole thing black. Okay, and now you're just gonna let it dry. And while that is drying, you can go ahead and start deciding on what type of colors you plan on using. I will probably be using pastel colors, just because it has an easy bottle I can use to just dip the string into. But if you have a squeeze tube, you can put some on a plate and like rub it onto your string if that's easier for you, or you can go get a bottle like this. I'm not saying you have to, but if you feel the need to, you can. You can use any color. Just make sure it's not the same as the color you painted your background as, because it'll just kind of blend in. And then once your background dries, or while it's drying, you can decide on how long you want your string to be. I would suggest making your string as long as whatever you're painting on, because if it's too long, you'll have to twirl it around more, which will take up more room on your material. Unless you want it to be big, you can make it big if you want to, or if you plan on doing multiple little twirls with your string, I would say just make the string a little shorter than what you're painting on. But you can make it whatever size. I'm not telling you have to make it that certain size. And so once it's fully dry, which it almost is, you'll start by dipping your string or rubbing some paint onto your string. You'll dip it into the little bottles, or you'll squeeze them out onto the string and just like smear it in. You'll want your string to be covered until like the end. You'll need to leave a little piece at the end that's uncovered so that you can pull it so that it's not covered in paint and you won't get your fingers as covered in paint. So once it's dried, mine is, and you can take as long as you need. I'm not telling you you have to like rush or anything. But once it's dried, you'll have your paint that's already, you'll have your string paint, and you'll just kind of like swirl it around. Make sure your string that's not, the piece of your string that's not colored is at the end so that you can pull it. You don't have to wait, as like you don't have to sit and wait for it to like do whatever. You can just pull it at any time. But this is basically what it will look like. You can twirl it in any direction you want to. And then you're just going to pull it down against your material. And then put the string to the side. And then this is what it should initially turn out to look like. And then if you're not happy with that, how that looks, like kind of plain by itself, because I'm using a small piece of paper, you can then add colors on top of it. You can take any other type of color and you can just like twirl it on top of it, make it into any type of swirls, and then just have it sitting there. This is what mine looks like right now with the color on top. I use purple first, and this is like a coral type of color on top, and then you're just gonna pull it down. It can smear if you want to, it'll make it look even more cool. And then you'll put that to the side, and then this is what it looked like in the end, like kind of blended in. It looks really cool. You can, if you really want to go out, you can go with 4 colors. I have 4 colors. Or you can use just 3 colors. It's really just up to you. I'm going to add another color on top. Have this little pinkish. And do it to the bottom. Just kind of twirl it around. And have it sitting at the bottom. And then you just kind of drag it off. Put it to the side. And then see, it adds more color to the bottom. And it kind of blends it into the other colors because they're still wet. So yours obviously is going to look like mine depending on the colors you chose. But I really hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope it was really relaxing for you. Hopefully you'll use this technique in the future when you're feeling really stressed out and need a break. So I hope you had a good day and a good time.